think I figured out the crux of everyone's problems. Now, if you watch this channel a lot, obviously you know that I talk a lot about from the men's perspective, but what I've come to realize is that a lot of these things also involve the opposite gender. Now, in no way, shape, or form is this a video going over, you know, what women might be going through, although it is rather serious if you think about it. But more so, I think I finally figured out the source of a lot of men's problems, without saying the obvious. And if I really get to it and have to be super transparent about it, I would say the crux of a lot of men's problems is comparison. And I think women also fall in line with this as well. They're constantly comparing themselves to what they see on social media, but I think men especially as well. And especially for like some of the guys out there that might feel disenfranchised or feel as though, you know, they're not really having the kind of success they see other people having, they tend to compare themselves towards, at least to what I think is like the top 10% or, you know, whatever may have you. And ultimately, I think all of us are doing ourselves a disservice, but especially the guys that are in that precarious position as to where like their life just isn't going the way that they expected it to. I think a large portion of that has to do with just the fact that they're basing their life off of what seems to be success for other people, right? And I know I definitely went through this when I was a bit younger. Like before I hit like 25, 26, you know, I'd often look at people on Instagram, like guys that were living in California, living it up, you know, artists, musicians, rich people, what have you. I was constantly looking them up and comparing myself to them when it's like, listen, as unfortunate as it sounds, their life is not mine and vice versa, right? And same goes for you. And realistically, this is what I wanted to talk about. I think at the end of the day, life is not necessarily a zero-sum game. I think the term get in where you fit in definitely plays a role, and figuring out where you fit in society's, you know, grand scheme of things is important. And I think it's key for living a quality life. Because listen, at the end of the day, although your life may not be like the rich billionaires that you see on Instagram or the famous musician, you can find happiness in parts of your own life. Now, does it take a lot of work? Yes. Could money or a lot of money make it a little bit easier? Probably. But at the end of the day, you know, you only have one life per se. We can talk about reincarnation all you want, but you only have one life. And if it takes you to be somewhat content with the things that you have now while you're working towards things that are better, then so be it. Again, at the end of the day, you could only experience life and society through your eyes. And there's no other way you can do that aside from, you know, experiencing new things and doing other things. You know, not necessarily just living a life that's just purely, you know, video games and work, but more so something of where, you know, you spend time with people that you deem to be friends or relatives, or, you know, you don't necessarily need to be in a relationship, but perhaps you're cultivating something that could turn into that. You know, whatever the case may be. Life doesn't have to be all doom and gloom. Like a lot of black pillars will be like, oh, you have to have no hope, or like forget about having hope, or whatever the case may be. But the reality of it is, without hope, what the fuck else are you gonna do? Like, what are you gonna just sit at home all day and just wallow away between your four walls? You know, I think I've made a piece of content on Instagram talking about this before, but like, there's no point in being stuck between the four walls of your house if at the end of the day, you know, you're just gonna wallow there and not do anything with your life. Like, what is the point of that? You know, while you're here, you might as well somewhat make the best of it. And even if that means not necessarily living the kind of life that you see other people live, but, you know, you create something that's special to you, then in my personal opinion, what better win is that? You know, to live a life of something that you curated, and not only curated, but you were able to orchestrate in such a fashion where, like, it took your hard work, your mindset, you know, a reserved character, and all of the sort in order to make it happen. You know, I don't know, maybe I'm just spitballing here, but this was a quick one. Wasn't gonna dive in too deep. But yeah, let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe to my shit, and let me know what you think. I mean, listen, June is still Men's Mental Health Month. We've only got a couple days left, but I'd love to hear what you guys are doing for your own mental health, and keep me posted in the comments below. I'll see you in the next one. Peace.